No, the dates are.
Hello.
She's coming from here. This is Bear. He texted me 20 minutes ago and said, so I assume they may have been something else.
Great. Hey, how are you? It's just between the, whatever, the Moore Center and the gate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we're looking at the treasure trees. I'm not entirely sure, so I guess we're coming down to that. What I imagine is we'll walk along, see the treasure tree, has a date on it, and somebody will say, in this state, in Montreat, this is what was happening, and this is what was nearby, and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That would be very cool.
So,
Last time that was done, took basically right out of town.
yeah,
But as you say, time is dependent on time.
I would, I think an hour and a half would be, of course, it's also going to get dark, and then people will start to be like, let's get going.
The other thing is the conflicts with the church events.
Yeah, it was not intended to be this day, so, and I think we're running out of dates, and we should reschedule it.
I think it's time to go ahead and start. Oh, good. Yes, we definitely have a quorum now. So, thank you. Good to see everybody. So we'll go ahead and call things to order here. And we've already had quite a few moments of silence, so let's quit that. And we have a quorum. Let's see. Any questions about the agenda? It shouldn't. I don't think there's any problem with the agenda. We've got sort of a carryover from the last two meetings, so that's not a problem. Jean, do you have a treasurer's report?
I do. We are as usual in our report because we do meet so many times.
Mike.
Oh,
Thank you.
oh, yes, we
All right, as usual, we are 1 month behind in our report from the town because we meet too early in the month for the previous month to have been compiled yet. It is showing $124,286.80 for everything attributed to Landcare, and that includes approximately $95,000 in donations to Flat Creek Crossing and $34,000 in grant funding to Flat Creek Crossing. So most of this budget is Flat Creek Crossing, as usual. We probably still have about $6,600, $6,700 that is Landcare money specifically. We've had a couple of donations to Landcare that don't show on this report yet. And the approximately $7,000 in Flat Creek Crossing donations don't show on this report yet. They came in the month after. We are currently running a negative departmental supplies line of $2969.72. I'm not sure at what point that gets adjusted away, and what will happen is that money will be moved out of the $124,000 into this, and it probably still won't be zeroed out. There's something about state rules that says we have to have that category. And we have $4191.45 in the expense category that also captures whatever we have in donations from the town. We're showing $14 worth of DreamHost web hosting, $180 charge from Hudson Design for updates that were necessary, and a $77.64 charge to the UPS store to replenish the cards and prints that were most recently sold at Made in Montreat. And we're probably going to replenish those some more in the future. The sales from Made in Montreat, we had about $1,100 in sales. We had a little over $500 in donations directly to Flat Creek Crossing. It was a fun day. It was hard to keep track of all the records. Fortunately, we were keeping 3 or 4 different streams, and when we put everything together, we could pretty much figure it out. I think that's the report. We are in good shape, and there'll be more to tell you when we get to Flat Creek Crossing.
All right, thank you, Jane. I skipped over approval of minutes. The only minutes that really need to be approved are the September minutes. But I think for the record, we should recognize that the October meeting did not have a quorum, but there is a notation of that to be incorporated in the official records also. Any questions about the September minutes?
Need a motion for approval?
Motion. Yep.
I move approval.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we can go on. Town of Montreat. Jane, got anything?
The town is still working hard in making repairs and getting things ready. I haven't really gotten a report on what significant things that will be discussed. We'll have council coming next week, and there'll be a update then. But it's pretty much day in, day out, so we're in there.
Has anything been discussed about Ed Kramer's suggestion about incorporating the tree board into a position here? Has that come up?
It has not come up. It may be something that is in the works for this council, this next board, but I'm not sure.
All right, MRA.
You got anything? Okay. Yeah, so we had our Wilderness Celebration Day, or however we were titling it, and I think that it went pretty well. I saw some of y'all there, and a lot of folks showed up for the talks. We had Perrin Wright, Jane Holt, and we had, is it Jonathan? I'm trying to remember his name. One of the people from the Mount Mitchell Bear Club. And so that was informative on all fronts, especially some folks who had never actually met one of the people who belonged to the Bear Hunting Club. So yeah, I don't know what the final numbers came out to be, but the Moore Center donated I think 10% of both, so that's both the Huckleberry and the store donated 10% of their earnings for the day to the Montreat Wilderness Maintenance Fund. As did, we had a raffle, which Jean won. That also contributed to the Montreat Operations Fund. What else do we have? Next month, this month, it's November, right around Thanksgiving, the summer staff application will be going out. So if you know any people of the, right age and or just happen to be free this summer who have a gift they would like to share that would be appropriate, have them look for that.
Bridges, I'll update on bridges.
It's not on.
All right. We've got one more step, I think, to complete the Graybeard Bridge. It's stable for crossing, but we're just doing some additional shoring up to protect it from future storm events. Moving from that to the Harry Bryan Bridge, which is probably going to cost around $75,000. So we are currently receiving donations to complete that project. We were able to do Graybeard with funds from a grant from the CFWNC, so we're grateful for that. The other update, just the native plants that I've been speaking to you all about. We have a central campus plan for landscaping that we've been working on for a couple of years. We were able to go ahead and do the gate, and then we'll move on to Bill Wild. There's still a little bit more to do at the gate, but we're looking at all of our cultivated areas, replacing with natives and non-invasives. So that project is underway. So.
Whose garden is the little railroad tie garden this side of the gate? On the right-hand side of the road?
I think that's in right-of-way, but I can't say for sure. I'm looking to other people who might know better. You're saying on the right before you go through the gate?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's not MRA because it's not on the inside of the gate, but I don't know whose it is. I think it does fall in the right-of-way, but I'm not positive.
Okay. It needs some attention. All right. Nobody here from Montreat College, and I was hoping to be able to see Angie this morning, but she's tied up. The name Laura Alexachek has been submitted. I know she got the paperwork that has to be filled out and goes before council approval and so forth to get involved with this. But I don't know what the status of that is.
Is she a faculty member? Or?
She's the new faculty member who took the place of
Dottie.
Dottie and the environmental education side of the campus. Cottagers and wilderness and open space.
Nothing much to report except everybody's been following the potential transfer of the deed from the cottagers to the MRA. The board is meeting and will have some kind of vote or discussion at least at their board meeting, and that's the 17th and 18th of this month. So I'm eager to see how that comes out.
What was the date again?
17th and 18th
Of this month.
of this month.
Okay.
All right, thank you. In terms of Earth Ministry, Nancy Midget and I did a program to the Montreat Church Wednesday. It's been about 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks ago, as part of the Earth Ministry program. I'm not sure what the status of Hal Demarest is. He's had some difficulties. According to Amanda, he's had a couple of pretty good days here recently. But whether he will continue to, I suspect what we need to do on that, and I'll talk to Keith about it, is replace him with somebody. Probably the smartest thing is for me to take that position, then I can legally be chairman of this without I don't know how I got involved in that. Anyhow, there are certain people in this town you can't say no to, and that's the way it stands. Anyway, I'll follow up on that. Flat Creek Crossing, Gene.
Okay. All right, so I have given to each of you, I think, your own personal copy of the donor communication that went out to all of the past donors to Flat Creek Crossing and people who wrote down their names expressing interest at various events. So it's getting to be a rather large list. And it didn't occur to me until this morning that everyone on this committee should be on this list because you're all interested parties. So in the future, you will get these communications whenever anybody else gets them, and you'll have them in hand before we get to a meeting. Okay, it recaps some of the things that I said about our financial status. It also mentions the 255,000 something grant from Accessible Parks, which had a 3-year period when we were granted it. So we are 1 year into that 3-year period. We may not need to ask for an extension if we are able to begin work as we would like to this November. And the early work will require taking up huge, still remaining amounts of sediment left behind by Helene. The shape of the planned area has changed. There's a lot more bank missing on the other side. That wasn't originally part of our plan to work on, but clearly it is part of the town's plan to work on because they need to protect the roadway by their maintenance building. So whatever is done to reinforce and rebuild that bank, we will take on additional planting to hold it, which will mean larger plants, more sun-tolerant plants, and then a whole bunch of plugs to fill in. If the large plants can stay in place, they will help hold against future flooding events of whatever size, and the plugs will gradually spread their roots and make for a brushy scene. There's also continuing to be some talk about could a fence go over there, which would be faster than plants. I don't know whether this footing is there for a fence or not, but that'll be a discussion to have with Barry along the way. Let's see. The thing that we have brought up tentatively is that the footbridge is down. We are still having conflicting information bouncing back and forth. Is that an MRA bridge? Is it a town bridge? I think the definitive answer is MRA has no interest in putting another $100,000 possibly into replacing that footbridge. And at this point, it would have to be a real footbridge. All of the permitting processes are involved. And the town also doesn't have the budget or the intention to mess with that. So Flat Creek Crossing, that subcommittee of Landcare, is seriously discussing, do we want to make that another grant proposal effort? In the past, we have had encouragement from at least one funding source to make a bigger park. Well, putting in an accessible bridge and putting some more picnic tables on the other side would, A, make a bigger park, and B, give us back some of the picnic area that was lost due to the flooding from our original plan. There are some design modifications underway. We do hope, weather permitting, that you will begin to see some heavy equipment in that spot, removing sediment, starting to place big rocks where things need to be shored up before the end of November. And this time it'll be Flat Creek Crossing work. It won't be just storage for the town. The town was able to reuse some of that sedimentary stuff, and I'm very pleased about that. And that may still happen again. And some of it may be able to be replaced in situ to shore up edges. So I think that pretty much covers that. And in the future, you'll get these as soon as anybody else gets them. Everybody will.
Okay, thank you. Bill Neely is out of town today, and I have no additional report from him. Landcare Festival, Kathy, it's yours.
All righty. We had a slight revision to the new name of the event. It is now Landcare Festival and Arbor Day. celebrating Montreat's native flora and fauna. That remains the same. So essentially, we just made sure that we put Arbor Day in the beginning. That's important for the for the tree board. I'm thinking, tree and the Tree City USA certification. So I don't know if we need an approval from Landcare Committee on that change, or if anybody has any concerns. Anything about that?
What was the catchphrase again? Celebrating?
Montreat's native flora and fauna.
I love it.
I can't write fast enough.
The event is April 11th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We know we've got the Moore Field, so it will be held there. We had I thought, a very productive meeting yesterday, nailing down vendors and organizations that we'll be reaching out to. The communications plan will be rolled out to our subcommittee and worked on. We're looking to really start communications to the wider community, kind of our metro area in December, really hitting it more so in January. People are a little busy with other things, November and December. We did have a question about what approvals, if any, are needed from the Landcare Committee or the entities on Landcare Committee for, say, posters that are produced or or brochures, if they have, for instance, the Town of Montreat logo on it, the MRA, the various organizations. I've got to look to see what we did in the past, if it was just the Landcare Committee logo, which may just cover it, or, so I bring that question to you all.
I think for Flat Creek Crossing, we have on occasion used the town logo and the MRA logo. And I remember getting quick informal permissions. I don't think there was ever an issue. It's still worth checking one more time.
How about for MRA? Will materials?
That's a quick email to Tanner Pickett, who does also the all the communication stuff we do. I mean, that would be the definitive answer, and I don't want to give you a wrong one. So.
Okay.
Kathy, should like the college be included? And
Yes.
yeah, all the people who, okay.
Yes, as long as their logos are being used or there's mention of the organization, we're probably going to need to run any materials past. And really, we're not looking to go heavy on printed materials. It'll be posters that will go up in, businesses and bulletin boards and everything around town, here. And perhaps brochures. We know we had a discussion yesterday about whether do we really need brochures or not. People, I think if we have a QR code, one of our members said, well, some folks aren't so hep on using QR codes. So they might really appreciate a brochure, over at the post office. So yeah, things are coming along. We did want to try to have a college member, college student, hopefully, on the subcommittee. So I was going to reach out to Josh to see if we can wrangle someone, they can get someone on the subcommittee, and also talk with them about volunteers for the event. They have been helpful in the past. And that's it.
Kathy, I don't think there's any need for any motion to approve anything going on. Is there any record from past about monies spent to support this?
There is. Jean handed over, Betty Douglas handed it over, but Jean had done a lot of wonderful work memorializing everything. So that's something that, and Jean, if I can just come back and touch base with you about
Yeah.
how that went through. The MRA does the printing. That is an in-kind. So truly, I don't know that we have a whole lot more expense than that. But
I would guess that the only approval you would need from this group would be if you spent money. Other than
Yeah.
that,
Okay.
we've all, at one time or another, expressed our enthusiasm for what you're doing and the group you've assembled and keeping the concept going. But I think technically, the only approval you would need would be to spend some money.
All right. Then with that, and I'll go back and look through the notes and look at what type of expenditures we might be expecting and put together a budget, see what we might need.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Keep on keeping on. It sounded good. Firewise, I know that Nancy Midget is putting together the Firewise application. Is it Nancy? I
Yeah.
shouldn't do names. Yeah, okay, is putting together this year's version to continue to maintain our Firewise status. And that's happening, I think that's all due for completion in November. Again, the encouragement in various communications throughout the community are to report hours spent cleaning up leaves, which are numerous this year. Bear-wise, I've not heard anything lately on that. We still have bears. Hemlock restoration, I don't think there's any, I don't know of any update from that. Tree board meets next week, so we'll find out what's going on there and I'll report accordingly. Children in the outdoors is kind of on hold. It's my hope that this is going to be something that Laura will take on and get the college back involved in that again. So that's still a work in progress. Anything else for the good of the group?
So speaking of the college, and I don't know, we could look back through the minutes and see. It seems to me like they're never here. And I wonder if talking with them about, and I don't want to upset the apple cart, if this day is bad for them, if the first Wednesday of the month is bad for them, should we consider a different time, or would that be equally bad? Yeah.
It's not the day, it's the time, because 9 o'clock is a class hour. And yes, that is problematic, and I don't know the history of this group, why it was set at 9 o'clock, but I know it has caused problems for other people in years gone by who had other obligations, work obligations or volunteer obligations at the 9 o'clock hour. It is certainly something to consider. If you want to make some other recommendations, I don't think we need anybody's approval to make a time change if we all agreed to a time that was more suitable to get them involved.
I don't even know what it would be yet. I was just floating that as a way to keep people involved, and I know that could also upset our schedule internally too. If the time changes significantly, that could be bad for us. I don't know.
We might check with the new person, Laura, I think you said her name is, and see if there's a time that would be appropriate, and then bring it back and discuss it to see if that would work for the rest of us.
Okay. It's a good idea. It is something
It is.
that Josh mentioned to me, the difficulty he had, and this is now 2 months ago, the difficulty he was having in finding somebody to volunteer from the college because of the time and class.
Yeah. We will have to do this formally. I'm in favor of doing it, and one of the things that I'm in favor of doing it for is to put us a little later in the month so that we're not always a month behind on our financial reports. We could maybe consider second week in addition to whatever we do with the time. But we are a formally announced committee. For a while that sort of slipped out of consciousness, but it's been reestablished. We will have to go through the town council. Our meetings need to be posted in advance, so it's not something we can do instantly just because we agree. But I think we can put a proposal to the town council, and I cannot imagine that it would be refused if we have good reasons, but we will have to do a formal process.
Well, let me run it by Angie and see what she recommends as a procedure.
Yeah, perfect.
And we'll
Also,
go from there.
sorry, also, aren't there, we've got 2 representatives from On-Tree College?
Yes.
So, yeah, I would hope that we'd be able to get, 2 people, certainly at least 1, but 2 people.
Yeah, the way it was constituted, there are 2 members from each of the principal, I guess, organizations that make up the valley, the conference center, the town, and the college. And then others were brought on for various other reasons as I've read through the history of how this thing got put together. All right, well, I'll run that by Angie. Anything else? Good suggestion, thank you. Anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn so we can get certain people on the road?
Yeah. Long day.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.